Hello, my name is Taylor Elwood, your occult author and host of magicalexperiments.com. And today I'm going to talk about the concept of enlightenment and why I'm a bit skeptical of it. I'd recently posted on my Facebook and Twitter accounts that I didn't really believe in enlightenment, that what I was looking for was something different. And the reason why is because I've been thinking about the concept of enlightenment as it applies to Buddhist thoughts and ideas. And what I've come up with is a realization that if we think of enlightenment as Nirvana, where you basically shed your attachments to everything, to all pleasures, to all pain, to all suffering, and the argument really is that pleasure causes suffering, what we have left is both nothing and everything, the experience of it. We don't have an identity, as in you and me. You and I don't have an identity anymore. We don't have a sense of self. We become part of this primal goop, this primal stuff that represents the potential for everything and nothing, and yet is not actually something. Think about that. So what you have then is limitless freedom. And ironically enough, the very fact that it's limitless is actually the biggest limit there is. You think about the concept of freedom, most people think, well, if I'm free, then I can do anything I want, however I want. But realistically, we look at the world around us, we're not free. Not really. We have boundaries all around us. We have limits all around us. I'm sitting in a chair right now. I can walk on the ground. These are things. The ground itself is a limit. I can't fly unless I do some kind of astral projection, and that's my spirit flying, but not my physical body. Or if I get into an airplane. So we have these limitations, and yet those limitations set us free as well. So by the limitation of being able to, of having ground underneath my feet, I'm able to walk somewhere. If I lived in a state of limitless freedom, I wouldn't be able to walk anywhere. I would be everywhere. There would be no separation of places, no separation of different things. The very nature of limitation is that it provides a kind of freedom, because it provides context. It provides separation from one thing from another. So we're no longer this primal goop of everything. Instead, we are something. We have identity. And that distinctness allows us to interact with the distinctness of other things. Now, some people will then say, well, you're too attached to that distinctness. So, and I suppose in some ways it could be argued that I am. But then I would ultimately argue that choosing to achieve Nirvana is a form of attachment as well. It's a form of attachment to non-being, to nihilism, to the becoming everything and nothing. And yet at the same time, it isn't something that you really can have a distinct presence in. You lose all sense of self. You can't become anything. You can't do anything. Limitless freedom doesn't allow you to actually do. It's just being. And it's not even really being, because you don't even have a sense of existence. It just is. It's everything and nothing. Everything all boiled together. If we think about that, it's a pretty profound concept then, that in some ways we're better off having physical bodies, having these kinds of interactions that we have with the environment around us. In other words, we're better off not necessarily being enlightened. Because enlightenment, if there's really such a state in terms of perfection or whatnot, is ultimately also static, chaotic and ordered, everything and nothing. It doesn't go anywhere. It just is. If you ask me, that's pretty boring. So that's my thoughts on enlightenment. Disagree? Cool. Agree? Hey, excellent, whatever. Comment at my blog at www.magicalexperiments.com, and thanks for watching.